Out of all our siblings, me and my twin sister were the youngest, and my two eldest brothers, my brother Joad and Dan, they were very swing beat. Like
R&B.
R&B, the whole Teddy Riley era.
Okay.
Albie Shaw.
Oh shit!
Christopher
Yeah.
Williams,
Dope.
So they were very super guy. They were so
Genuine, Tony. All that real R&B like vocal stuff.
Exactly. So they'll be pumping that in the house, and that was the era, swing beat era of all the house parties, and so they'll be going out. Obviously, they're like 8-9 years older than me, but then hearing them play their music, me and my brother Seth would listen to them and go, "Right, what's this?" And
just Seth is a legend as well.
Seth's a big legend,
you got to talk about Seth. We'll get to Seth in a minute. I'm interested in diving in on him because I know how amazing he is. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, man. So that was the introductory to the whole swing beat, R&B, and hip hop as well. But not so much the dark hip hop.
Okay. Not the sort of gangster shit.
This was like the Big Daddy Kane when he was doing the stuff with Jodeci, and then the R&B was coming into. I don't want to give this hard nut hip hop story.
It wasn't. It was melodic. It was like melodic. About love and movement. It went about crud.
It wasn't. So that's where all of that was, and that's where the fusion of both brown and black music fusion was happening in our household. So that's where it started.
Okay, sick. And were you like? I remember like Patchy Indian. I remember there was lots of like Indian and sort of like I just having black culture crossover where there was a lot of acts that were coming out that were mixing like rap with Hindi and sort of stuff. Were you across any of that sort of stuff when you were growing up as well?
Yeah, I mean like you come across it from the outside, but I wouldn't say I wasn't indulged in it. So to speak. But shout out Apache Indian and UK Apache as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from South London as well. We got to own that one.
Yeah, of course.
But you can see the influences, as I said, from food, but then you can see that the Bhangra era as well was happening.
Yeah.
And that was being taken from reggae, sampling, dubs, that really little dubby sort of sound, mixing it with the Bhangra sound.
Yeah.
So you could always feel, and I could always feel and see that influence of Jamaican culture specifically, right? Because many people say black culture, but black culture could be so many.
No, you said it was Jamaican. It was sound system, innit?
It was sound system, and that was another big thing where I grew up was the sound system era as well. So all of that.
And did that lead you to sort of like? Obviously, I'm going to touch on the sort of So Solid thing. How did that come together? And was it through the sound system stuff that you ended up sort of being a part of that situation? How was that even birthed? I'm so curious about how that came together. It's such a legendary time in the UK for cultured music. Can you talk me through like the sort of your entry point into that and how that even happened?
So the Soul Singer thing came about where me, Mega, Swiss, K, Shusang 21 Seconds, and Seth, our gardens were almost backed up to each other.
Oh, right. Look, like literally, wow,
yeah,
I didn't know.
They're like 2-3 gardens away, but we lived on the same estate. And I'm on about from the age of like 8-9, we all sort of met each other. And there was that mutual understanding of love of R&B and music. So that's where that sort of like relationship started happening. And love for
from
music.
age 9, you say?
From the age of 9.
Raw,
yeah.
Okay.
Mega's case are a bit older than me and Swiss and Seth as well. Me and Swiss are the same age.
Okay. So is Seth older than you?
Seth's older than
I always thought he was younger than you.
Yeah, people think that. And I hope it's not because of the skin or anything else. It's the maturity.
You look well younger.
Not to say Seth's immature, but...
No, you're very mature, that's what it was.
Oh, I appreciate it. You said it. So that's where that happened, that relationship and a love for music. So we was like an R&B group back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What were you called?
We was called Too Hype, Too Young.
Too Hype, Too Young? Yeah. Oh, was you singing then? Or was you producing?
I was singing.
Oh, like, raw. I need to see. Is anything on the internet I can...
Nah,
I can't.
And if it was, I would have got it straight.
Took it off.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But that's where that sort of musical journey and the love for music and performance started happening, and that relationship. So that's where that happened. And then years down the line, obviously... we was a self-managed group. We're just watching what ABC's doing from the swing beat era and everyone else.
Yeah.
So that sort of fizzled out. And then some of us indulged in the street curriculums of hustling.
Yeah, trying to make money however you could.
Yeah, exactly. But then shout out to Mega, because Mega then he joined the sound system.
Okay.
Because as I said, there was this heavy influence of sound system going on. So Mega joined that when he was probably, I'm going to guess Mega might have been 16.
Okay.
And I had to have been about 14.
Okay.
So in Battersea there was a loads of like them all dayers happening. So,
Okay.
And
Day raves.
day raves and all in youth clubs. So we used to attend that as well. Like the whole community would just pull up and
Yeah.
just go in there. So I say that to say this. That's where Mega was then introduced to. I don't want to tell too much of his story, but that's where he met Romeo.
Okay, got
In the
it.
sound system, and Romy's from Battersea as well, but from another part of another estate. So that's where they met, and then the whole Soul Solid thing was, I believe when him and Romeo had met, they and Mac as well. Shout out Mac. They started forming their relationship, and then came the whole garage era.
Got it. Okay.
And then they had gone off onto pirate radio station, and they were MCing over the beats. But then in between that, I mentioned my two brothers. My eldest brother Dan, he was studying music, so he had a studio set up in our loft.
Oh, right. So you had a space to actually record.
Yeah, with Holy for dust mics.
Okay.
'Cause it's in the loft. Them
Yeah,
times
yeah.
there weren't no like my parents again weren't on this whole heavily insulation and
No.
let's get the roof on. So my brother he used his initiative and built a studio in there with just plywood. Just
He actually built it himself, though. He actually physically.
Do you know what the
chopped
way it
wood and
looked
stuff.
like? I would say he did. I don't
Wow.
know who done it, but it was shambolic.
Yeah, but someone made an effort to do it themselves. Sort
Pure
of thing.
splinters.
No,
you go in
really.
there, you brush the wall, you're
Yeah,
like,
it's finished, you're
there for
finished,
2
yeah.
hours trying to take the splinters out. So I used to indulge in just making beats, but it was more like R&B, hip hop style
Yeah,
beats.
stuff you've been raised on, sort of thing. Yeah.
And you're just playing by the ear. You got the keyboard. You're just playing with kicks and snares, and I just enjoyed it.
Vibes.
But then when Mega and that started forming years down the line, Mega's got to be like 19, 20. The whole garage thing was happening. I remember I heard a beat, and it was Oh No on White Label.
Oh no, that's the big tune.
Big tune. And them days I was heavily influenced by what Timbaland was doing.
Okay.
And there's a sample in Oh No that was taken from a Timbaland beat.
Oh really?
And I remember that opened my eyes to be like, hold on, this garage sound, which I did rate, but I wouldn't say I loved.
Yeah.
But when I heard the R&B hip hop Timbaland sample in there, and then the heavy bass line cutting through, and it was more like to me, it wasn't a typical garage bass line, like doom, 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 doom. And when I realized who produced it, it was Mega. I was like, yo, garage you can experiment really and truly on a production level with R&B hip hop. So then I immediately went in my room and started making beats with the garage, but bringing in an R&B element.
Sick,
So
sick.
that's where the love of the fusion happened. And cut a long story short, I then created a record, and I put Mac on there from Soul Solid. He's one of the founders as well. On a tune, Seth was already singing.
Yep.
I put Seth on the hook, and that record started creating his own life. And then Mega heard that and was like, yo, you making beats now? I was like, yeah. Then he was like, you might as well just join us, Shabz. Like, we started this journey as too hot, too young. What better way to carry on than what we're doing at Soul Solid? So I joined Soul Solid.
And how long were you a part of So Solid for?
I was with Soul Solid from like the late 90s all the way till as an active member till about 2004-05.
Wow, so you're right through the sort of the height of all of it.
Yeah, I'm still a Soul Solid member.
Yeah, you're still all now.
all now, but as an active member, because after that there was some trial and
There's some back and forths, as we like to say, back and forths.
Yeah. And then everyone started finding, that's the beautiful part of Soul Solid, everyone started finding their journey. Because you know this, Rich, man. When you enter the business for the first time, it's never gonna be where you end up.
Of course not. No. It's always
It's life. It's a massive
things happen and you evolve.
You evolve.
Yeah, situations change.
And we're still evolving,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like where we was last year or 2 years ago or whatever position and company, we're meant to be on that journey.
Exactly. And I always look at that in the most positive way forward. I think the universe pulls you to where you need to be, and I think a lot of the time it's very easy to sort of be negative about sort of change. And I think we all go to somewhere where we're meant to be. And I think the main thing is sort of trying to sort of make sure you learn from whatever you've done before. So I think if you carry that forward, you're always going to do better no matter what you're doing.
100%. And just to add on that evolution and on your journey, even at Desi Chill, which we'll get into, the company that I've co-founded, the staff that I have, right, I shouldn't call them staff, the team, the family members that I have working with us and for Desi Chill, I have the same conversation with them. Like, you feel this is an eternity, sort of what we're doing. I'm like, I would love that to be the case, but you're on your journey. You're incredible. I'll just hope you stay with me as long as you can.
Yeah.
But this is all about evolving, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be sad to see anyone leave, and hopefully they're not watching this. But it's just all part of the journey.
No, it is part of the journey. I mean, I always think you've done a really good job if they leave and they crack on and do well. I think that's the aim, is to sort of have someone do better than you and to sort of outdo you. And your bar is supposed to be very high, and you pray to God that whoever's around you outdoes you. It's like having your children. You want your children to do better than you. It's the same thing. So I think there's no harm in people leaving. I think there's always an opportunity for you to build with that person and use some of their sort of goodness in what you're doing, and you can give them a protection, a shield around them, and allow them to grow as executives, knowing that you've learned most of the lessons they're about to sort of run into by accident, sort of thing.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is not even a pride thing, because we have this mentality of where we come from, especially from South London. So I want to say, selfishly, we want to put people on, because if tomorrow you do better than me, you can put me on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if yesterday you was under me, or, for example, I say that respectfully, but then tomorrow I want you to be above me, but then you anchor me up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the sort of mindset that we always have. Like, no one ain't better than each other. We're all learning. But if I can bring you in and you end up doing great,
yeah.
That's my.
Of course. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, just go back to the so solid stuff. So, you've gone through the sort of the chaos of the success of all of that. What was your sort of like moment of like the height of it? What was your best memory of being a part of that process?
Do you know what my best memory is? If I'll be honest, it was the whole process of the DIY of how Soul Solid did it. That to me is the biggest, my biggest learner, teacher. That's where I get loads of my leadership skills from. Was actually being a part of that whole process. I'm so blessed to have been a part of that, to see it through. And I say that to say this, where it resonated with me then how important it is to build a community.
Yeah.
To focus on your community and cut the noise of the record labels and where that the monetization of money.
Yeah.
It's pure passion and community. So that was my biggest, fondest sort of memory, like as a whole, looking back at Soul Solid, was like the DIY process.
I love that. You can't teach that. You can't, unless you experience that and go through that sort of day-to-day, hand-to-hand combat of like going through decision-making on songs, promo, trying to get to radio on time, making sure you've done enough shows to sort of make enough money to keep the business alive. That whole sort of business thing is really tricky unless you're in it, and I think there's a lot of learning, a lot of fun in that process. So you must have seen some absolutely crazy stuff that you can't talk about. But I'm quite curious about that. But maybe when the camera's off, we'll dig in a bit deeper.